All right, we are here on September 3rd, 2018, the final day of a Bugs Land being taken away to make room for more Marvel. So we like as much as possible to be at all these Disney things as they kind of say their goodbye, capture them on their last day, last minutes. We'd love to be here a little bit later in the night, see it closed, but just wasn't going to work out the schedule. So we are entering the Hollywoodland side, which is just kind of the way we usually enter the land. And admittedly, it never was really our land. It was never a place that we used as much more than a pass-through, to be honest. That said, everyone we know that has kids, this was like their home spot in DCA. Spent a lot of time meeting up with friends and their kids here, stopping by with friends and their kids here, diverting and going to do something else while friends took their kids here. But so it's been interesting because everybody I know that has kids, this has been a big spot for them. And obviously all the rides are geared towards the little ones. And so it'll be much missed in that way because what's replacing it, at least as of this recording, seems to be more of an adult flavor. I mean, it feels like that's kind of how they've interpreted Marvel, that Marvel is about kind of the more teen super crowd and making it a little bit more high adventure feel to it. So we'll be seeing what happens in terms of replacing things like this. But at the end of the day, Bugs Land's legacy has kind of been rides like this right here. Just really simple, you know, regional park style rides, amusement park rides in a lot of ways. The tuck and roll over here, the drive and buggies, bumper cars, I mean, just the absolute slowest moving bumper cars you would ever see.
Once again, you must push the pedal and turn the wheel to operate your bike. Please push the pedal and turn.
But again, you know, a lot of kids. I know our niece and nephew loved going on that. That was like a big deal. The waterways or the water options, always popular on a lot of the hot days.
Ready?
Heimlich's Choo Choo Train, definitely the thing that we will personally miss the most, I believe, is just because it was the one ride that we would ride periodically over here. Come back and look at that, but I want to make our way kind of the Cars Land side of things, and that was for us at least the most common use of Bugs Land. Was a passageway from Hollywoodland, checking out that Marvel store, seeing what sorts of new items they might have there, and making our way through this foresty area. All these cute little touches like the pencil posts. Over to Cars Land. And Cars Land always, the bug statues were always fun to see. And there's Heimlich back there with his candy corns. And like so many things in life, an area that I don't think was anywhere near as popular or as populated in a lot of ways, at least on just kind of the purely adult side until the last few weeks, as people have been kind of making their pilgrimage to say their last goodbyes, much as we are. We did our last ride in Heimlich the other day, and it currently has a 20-minute wait, which doesn't seem like it's all that much for a day like today, but it does seem like a lot for as short of a ride as it is. One of the things weird covering the theme park world so much is how everything, you see things just come and go, and even on a smaller scale, like the seasonal stuff, all the decor and things like that. But then on a larger scale, lands or rides. You know, I still think back to People Mover in Disneyland, and then Rocket Rods, and now just the decrepit overpass that's all broken down that's over there.
I see a big carrot. Carrots are orange, just like candy corn. Mama says carrots are good for my eyes, but I don't want to put carrots in my eyes.
The whole idea of being kind of miniaturized in the land was always pretty cool, I thought. I mean, the light posts and the popsicle stick benches, just always a lot of fun little touches. And unfortunately, the land closes not even at the best of what it was, even though it did leave a lot to be, you know, desired. It was never a premier part of the park by any means. But it's tough to be a bug. Was a neat little attraction. Unfortunately, in its latter years of usage, it became a preview theater more times than not, it felt like, so often for whatever the new thing, Coco, Moana, whatever, that was coming out. And so the construction walls here have been up. It closed very non-Disney-like without any sort of announcement. It just kind of was closed, so no one really got the opportunity to say goodbye too much. This was added around that time as well as kind of a little kids activity center. I guess the thought being to give a little bit of something to do there while the loss of the attraction. Yeah, it would have been nice for it to close down and still have had a last showing and all that, but it just wasn't in the cards. So instead, it goes out with a whimper, definitely rather than a bang. It'd be interesting to see how the new additions work in terms of a border to Cars Land, because that was always a little bit of a jarring area here, as you're kind of supposed to be in this miniaturized Bugs world, and then you had Mater's right there just playing the music right into the land. It kind of felt like the last several years that this area was an afterthought for anyone that was above 5-6 years old. And again, not that it was ever an iconic part of the park. I'm sure it'll be remembered much more fondly than it was utilized during its time. But always unfortunate when these things kind of go away in a manner as this one did. And everybody taking their bye pictures today, fitting enough. And this being the main entry point, which honestly we almost never entered over here. We always kind of did use it as that passageway. So this was always kind of a walk-by spot for us. All right, with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up here. Goodbye to Bugs Land. Until next time, see you in line somewhere.